Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jay Myrax. I want to wish y'all a happy new year, happy 2016. Welcome to another year, another season of Altruwism, another season of Altruwest TV. We're just going to continue the conversations, continue to, uplift the whole beat making culture, and just continue to talk about music production, beat making, and sound design here. So, I took a little bit of a break during the holiday just to go hang out with my family and just to relax because I've been working pretty hard all year, and I went through a few family things, suffered a loss in my family actually. But still staying uplifted, still staying, focused, still staying, just blessed and promised, man, because, at the end of the day, our life is, our life is temporary. We're here on earth for, a short period of time, and within that period of time, we have a mission. We all have a mission to get certain things done in life. It's what I consider to be a God-given mission. So we all have a purpose, and we got to live in purpose because we never know when our time is going to be up. And that's part of what I want to talk about today is not so much our purpose, but more so the legacy that we leave behind. And I don't want to talk about it in terms of just, in a morbid way, like, okay, when you die, but you should, I think, as a music producer, you should think about the legacy that you leave behind when you're no longer able to create music, when you're no longer around to continue to contribute. What is the legacy that you're going to leave behind? And the reason I bring this up is because, I think about the whole concept of selling beats online. And, selling beats online can be a very exciting thing. It's cool when you start, seeing the first PayPal deposits in your account from somebody that bought a beat that's on your website, and it's like, yeah, I'm finally getting recognized. People are finally valuing my music. People are finally getting to a point where they respect me and my craft enough to actually compensate me for what I work so hard on every day. Because some of us, tirelessly come to the studio every day and grind and really try to make something amazing happen in the studio. And a lot of us wanted to get heard. We don't want it to just sit on our computers and not be heard by the public. And one of the ways that a lot of us in the beat making and music production world have found is that if you put your music on a website or, a SoundClick or SoundCloud or something like that, and you tell people, this is how much I charge for the beat if you want it, then people can actually purchase it and potentially put a record out with it and, make my name and my brand grow based off of the records that they've done over my beats. But when I think about that, one of the problems that I had with generic beat making sites, or beat sites I should say, is that anybody can buy the tracks and do whatever they want with it after they purchase it, or as a lot of people say, lease it or whatever. Like people can do whatever they want with it. And for the most part, I know most people that sell beat leases and all of that stuff don't really discriminate on who can buy or who cannot buy. And I think about that with regard to our legacy now, and I say, well, what happens just for, hypothetically, what happens if a lot of mediocre artists buy my beats and they put a whole bunch of songs out over my music, and a whole bunch of these songs are done by mediocre artists that I really don't like that much, but since they paid for it, they have a right now to use it in the way that they want, but I don't really like their artistic statement, or I don't like the overall song that they've created, but they're also crediting me as the producer on these songs. What does that do for my legacy? how does that affect me when I'm gone and I can no longer create or contribute to music? Is my legacy going to be defined by a whole bunch of people that bought leases off of my website and made songs that I really had no part in? I think a lot of us music producers should really think about that and consider the ramifications of that. Because, like I said, beat selling can be enjoyable as far as, collecting money and getting some type of payment for the music you've done, but you really are not in control fully of your legacy if you only sell beats on a website that basically allows anyone to purchase it without any type of exclusivity, or more so any type of discrimination for that matter. Because realistically, as a producer, you want to have your name associated with artists that are also quality, that also represent the ideas and goals of your personal brand as a producer. You want to actually produce these people as well. You don't want to just be from the studio just throwing out beats that people do whatever they want with it. You also want to be able to inject your vision on how a song should sound to these records that are being recorded by these artists. And it's hard to do that if you're only focused on selling beats on the website. So one thing that I want to recommend that a lot of us start to do is just to take inventory on our actions as music producers and start to think about your legacy. Because again, your legacy, what you leave behind, is how people are going to remember you forever, because you won't be able to contribute to that anymore once you're gone. So I would recommend that producers start thinking about putting out their own records as well, whether that would be instrumental records or records that they produce for artists that they have found to be compatible and fit with their ideas and fit with the type of music that they want to put out into the world. I think if we look at working with a lot more talent, up and coming talent, or even established talent, but look to work with talent instead of only looking to create customers, we'll have a better chance of having a more solid legacy as music producers, so that when we're no longer here, people will remember us from not just the beat leases, but actually the records that we released, that we put our stamp on and said, this is my artistic vision to completion. So that was just some food for thought. Think about it. Let me know what you think as well. We're going to continue the conversation here. I want to give a shout out to my folks at 12-Bit Soul. Sent me this cool shirt. I met them at A3C in Atlanta last year. Real cool guys. Real cool sound libraries. But yeah, shout out to them. As I said before, if you guys need any help with music production or sound design, studio setup, or anything else, feel free to contact me on my website, www.altruwest.com. And there is a box that'll pop up that'll allow you to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me if you need a consultation to further go into sound design topics or beat making and music production and any other topics related to studio and music production. So all right, until next time, y'all be blessed. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.